Hello friends, welcome to this video about polymorphism. In the previous video we have seen about encapsulation and inheritance, and this video we are going to talk about polymorphism. We will see some good examples about method overloading, overriding, what is static polymorphism and dynamic polymorphism. Let's get started. So we'll see about what is polymorphism, difference between overriding and overloading, and what is static or compile time polymorphism, and dynamic or runtime polymorphism. So what does exactly a polymorphism means? So polymorphism is a combination of two Greek words, that is poly means many and morph means forms. So if I want to put it into object oriented programming, polymorphism is like is nothing but many forms. A object can exhibit in many forms, or it can behave in different forms in different situations. So let's look into some examples about polymorphism. All right. So let's say we have a shape class and rectangle class, circle class, triangle class, and diamond class. A shape class can be a superclass, and rectangle or like rectangle, circle, triangle, diamond, or can be like a subclasses. So so you can choose like what shape you want, and you can have your own implementation in that. So let's say for example, if I want to choose a shape like a rectangle shape, and I want to have it some different implementation in rectangular class, I can have it, because a rectangular shape has its own properties, its own behavior. Similarly, circle, triangle, and diamond, it has its own properties and behavior. So let's understand this better with a code example. So I have a shape class here, and it just has only one method, which is get area method. So it's currently it does not return anything. It just returns like 0.0, which is a double. And we have a rectangular class which extends shape. So we have seen about inheritance in the previous video. So rectangular class extends shape. So shape is a superclass here, and rectangular is a subclass here. So as you can see here, rectangular class has its own fields like width and height, and we got constructor and getters and setters. So the main important thing here in polymorphism, especially in overriding, is the method that we are using in the subclass. So here you can see we are overriding the parent class method, which is get area method in the shape class, in the rectangular class as well. So the override annotation is optional. We could have it or not. It does not impact anything on the functionality. So as you can see here, rectangular has its own implementation of the get area method using its own fields, width and height. So similarly, if you look into the circle class, circle also extends shape. Circle is a child class and shape is a parent class here. So circle has a property of a field of radius. So it's had its own implementation. So the one thing to notice here, we have the same method name and same return type and same access modifier. And if you have the parameters also, it has to be exactly the same as in the superclass. The implementation is different in the subclasses. So when do you use this overriding basically? So let's say you have a shape class, and you got like some 5 methods in that. So we have a shape class. So right now we have only one method, but in normal real world scenario, let's say you have a shape class and you have some 5 methods in that, and we got some subclasses like rectangle or circle classes, which is extending the shape class. And basically whenever we extend it, it inherits all the public methods and all the non-private methods in it. You don't have to rewrite those methods which is already there in the superclass. But if you want to have your own implementation, if you want to change some implementation for some methods in subclasses, that's when we can use overriding concept. So let us run this program. So I'm going to create a list of shapes. So I'm creating array list of shapes here. So let's import the shapes class. I'm sorry, let's import the list. So let me, I'm going to add shapes, rectangle and circle classes to this list. So shapes dot add. So let's create a rectangular class with width as 10 and height as 5. And let's add a circle class to this array list of shapes. So I'm creating a circle class with radius 8. So now let's print these values and see like what which method is going to call. So I'm using for loop to print the method of each class. So let's shape dot get area. So let me write the system.out.println as well for this. So let's print the class also, like which class it's getting printed. Shape dot get class dot. So I'm just taking simple name to print the class name. So let's run this program and see what happens. Yeah, so as you can see here, so we got rectangular class, or rectangular object is I mean is being used in the here. So what we are doing here is that we are creating a rectangular object and circle object and then adding it to the shapes. As we are looping into this array list, and then this object is using the same object, so I mean using the same class, so we are calling the area method. So it could be anything here. So when you come, when the line number 14 is executed, the shape class could be rectangular, it could be a circle. So this is what exactly the polymorphism means. So the same class, same reference is behaving in two different forms. So the first object is pointing to the rectangular object, and first the reference is pointing to the rectangular object, and that's why you can see the rectangular class is printed, and the second reference is pointing to the circle object. So this is exactly the polymorphism and method overriding is. And so we have another concept like method overloading also. So before going to method overloading, so let's see like what does exactly the rules of method overriding. So method overriding is a process of redefining a superclass method in a subclass. So that's what we have seen. So methods in the parent class is normally called overridden methods. So when you override a method which is present in superclass, that's called overridden method. So methods in subclass is called overriding method. And so these are the rules of the method overriding. It needs inheritance, and at least it needs to have at least one subclass. So yes, so we need to have at least one parent class, one child class to do the overriding. The subclass must have the same method name, parameters, access modifier, and return type. So we have seen that as well. So if we have a different parameters, it's not going to, I mean it's not going to be a overriding. Basically it's not going to work for overriding. So and the method class must not be declared as final. Yes, so final classes cannot be extended. We cannot use inheritance for final classes, we already know that. Similarly, the final methods also cannot be overridden, and static methods cannot be overridden. So the static methods are tied to only the classes, so they cannot be overridden. And similarly, the private methods are only for the class itself, I mean only for that instance inside that class itself, so they cannot be overridden. So these are the rules of the method overriding, and I would say like these are frequently asked questions in the interviews also. So now let's look into overloading. Right. So let's have an example for overloading here. So I got a calculate class where we have a method like add method. So it just takes two parameters here. One is one number. It takes two numbers and then adding it basically, and then returning the integer number. And as you can see here, the method with three parameters. So this one is a method with two parameters have the same name. It has integer a, integer b, integer c, and it is returning it's calculating the sum and then returning integer. And similarly we have four parameters have the same method. And as you can see here, it has the same method, but the parameter type is different. Let's say it has a double type and it has a integer type, so it's returning here. So let's create an instance for this calculate class and see like how method overloading works. Method overloading. Yeah, so I'm creating a class instance for calculate, and just add method. So we can add 3. So we can call the add method which has the 3 parameters as well. So we can also calculate, we can also call the add method which has the 4 parameters as too. And we should be able to call this method which has a different parameters also, like 15.5, let's have that, and 16.5. So let's have that. So as you can see here, the method overloading means it should have the same name, but it can have a different parameters in the same class. So one of the main advantages of having method overloading is the readability. So you could have a different name also, but the functionality is same when you have the same functionality in the same class. Like here you are doing the add operation, here also we are doing the add operation. So when you have the same functionality, it is advisable to have the same name to do the method overloading. So method overloading also gives good performance. So you could also have a different method here. I mean, this is giving error because we already called the method with add, but you could also have a different method with sum. But the idea is that if you are using the same functionality, like we are just adding 2 numbers here, we are just adding 3 numbers here, it's advisable to use the same name. So it gives some better performance when compared to using a different name. And remember, when you have the same functionality, it's advisable to use method overloading in the same class itself. Yeah, so this is what the method overloading means. So let's see the difference between method overloading and method overriding. Yeah, method overloading is an example for a static or a compile time polymorphism. So as we can see here, so let's go to calculate class. So as you can see here, so if you are trying to have the same method name and same parameter, so this gives error. So it gives the error during the compile time itself, right? So that's why it's called static polymorphism or compile time polymorphism. So method overloading is an example for compile time polymorphism. So whereas method overriding is an example for dynamic or runtime polymorphism. So we have seen an example for overriding in the calculate application class. So as you can see here, this is an example for overriding. So to put it into more detail, so let me write a class shape equal to new shape, and then shape dot I'm sorry, so let have a rectangular here, and 1 comma 2 20 comma 10. So new circle, so we have shape 1, shape 2, and then so as you can see here, so I'm going to call use the same method to print. Just want to explain about what exactly the dynamic polymorphism or runtime polymorphism is, which is nothing but the overriding. So here you could see the shape1 dot get area, shape2 dot get class, and shape2 dot get area. So shape1 area, shape2 area. So let me run this program and let's see like yes. So as you can see here, so this one shape1 area, it's printing rectangular object. Shape2 area, it is printing circle object. So though we are using the parent class or super class reference, this shape1 reference is pointing to the rectangular object. This is very important to understand. And also similarly, a shape2 reference is a super class reference, but it is pointing to the circle object. So that's why, so even though we are calling, I mean the it's a shape super class reference here, in this line number 19, it's pointing to the rectangular objects, this is calling the rectangular get area method. And shape2 is a, even though it is a super class reference like shapes class reference, when during the runtime, so it determines that it's pointing to the circle object and it calls the get area circles get area method. So this is exactly the overriding concept, because overriding is determined during the runtime. So during the compile time, the it does not know like whether which object it's pointing to. So only during the runtime, like only when the objects are created in the heap, that's when the dynamic polymorphism occurs. And coming to the differences, overloading happens at compile time, overriding happens at runtime. We have seen that. So return type does not matter in case of overloading. Yeah, so you could have a different return type. Return type must be the same in case of overridden. So in case of overload, so as you can see here, so as long as the method name and you have a different parameters, and you could have a different data type also for method overloading. But for method overriding, you need to have the same return type. So arguments must be different in case of overloading. Yes, so if you keep the same arguments but two different, I mean, same class names in the same method names in the same class, then it gives compilation errors. So arguments must be different in case of overloading. Arguments must be same in case of overridden. And private and final methods can be overloaded. Yes, private and final methods cannot be overridden because we cannot extend a final class, and final methods also cannot be overridden. Overloading happens in the same class, we have seen that, and overriding needs to have base and derived classes. It's nothing but parent and child class, or super or subclass. Yeah, that's all about polymorphism. I think you got a good understanding about what is polymorphism, different types of polymorphism like compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism, which is nothing but static or dynamic time polymorphism. Um, yeah, thank you so much. See you in my next video.